Welcome to another edition of Shelf Life Book Reviews Online. As always, I thank you very much for taking the time to watch my videos. Hopefully you'll find them informative, and when you go to your local bookstore to look over the books, these two fiction books will be ones that you will seriously consider. And as I mentioned, there are two fiction books. Two very, very well-written fiction books. The first, Karin Slaughter's Girl Forgotten. This is published by William Morrow, and it retails for $35.99. This is reportedly the sequel to the previous book, Pieces of Her. Now, I did not read Pieces of Her, but if you have not read the previous book, don't worry, because it's sort of a standalone book that you will be able to follow it and you'll enjoy it from start to finish. The book looks at a 40-year-old murder mystery. A young girl by the name of Emily Vaughn was murdered back around 1982. And it's a very interesting story. She suddenly found out that she was pregnant. She didn't know who the father was. She went to a party and she was either drunk or drugged. And she had no idea. Now, her parents almost disowned her because of this. And they didn't understand or accept the fact that something happened against her will. So it was time for the prom. And nobody wanted her to go to the prom because she was pregnant. And she decided she was going to go to the prom. And she did, and she turned up at the prom. And then after the prom, she disappeared. It was not long before she was found in very serious condition near death. Now, they kept her alive long enough that she was able to give birth to a daughter. And then Emily died. Now, the question was, why was she killed? And was the person who assaulted her and responsible for the child, is that the one who killed her? It was a cold case that lasted for, 40 years. And then the book moves to present day, and it involves her mother. Emily's mother is now a judge, and I'm referring to my notes because there are so many people here that the memory does not always work. So she was a judge, and she's Esther Vaughn, and she has been threatened. There's a man in jail and a U.S. Marshal, Andrea Oliver, comes to town. Now, Andrea Oliver's father is the man in jail, and he has threatened Judge Vaughn for whatever reason. A dead rat is sent to her, and Andrea Oliver realizes that if her father gets out, Judge Vaughn is in serious trouble. So it's an interesting thing. But the murder of Emily 40 years ago and the present day threat to her mother are interconnected, but you just don't know how they go together. So we start to see pieces of the puzzle as it tells what happened to Emily. It sort of goes back and forth between past and present. We find out leading to the death of Emily, why she was killed, and who the killer was, of course. So there's so much more too, and the story is definitely Karin Slaughter is an expert writer. She's written dozens of bestsellers, and she has her own style. The way she does the characterization definitely keep you riveted to the book. And this is one book you should not forget, because Girl Forgotten is definitely one of the best books Karin Slaughter has ever written. And the second book of note is Near You by Mary Burton. This is published by Montlake, and it retails for $22.95. Mary Burton is another writer who has written several series of books, and they've all been bestsellers, and they've all been highly recommended, and this book is highly recommended as well. It is another complex book, and you just love the complex books, because books that are too cut and dried, there's no reason to stay riveted to the pages. Well, with Near You, you will be riveted to the page. There's a serial killer on the loose, and we get different perspectives from the killer, and as he commits the acts, and he just doesn't kill women. He tortures them and kills them, and some of them he actually cuts off their face, the skin of their face. So if you have a weak tummy, this book is going to have you going, but still, it's no reason not to read it. The book is riveting, just like the first one, and the serial killer is, well, we're not sure, but the book does involve Anne Bailey, who is a university professor in Missoula, Montana. And she knows a man by the name of Elijah Weston. And he tried to, actually, they had a relationship at one time. And then there was a fire. And he was charged with trying to kill Anne. She barely escaped with her life. Now, he always said he was not responsible for the fire. But in jail, Elijah Weston has a sort of cult following. A lot of women from the area and from the past of Anne's time are sort of like groupies. They are called the Fireflies. And they are drawn to him because of his irresistible charm. But the women who are being murdered, they are part of the Fireflies. So for whatever reason, someone is targeting these women, known as the Fireflies, and we know ultimately Anne Bailey is going to be the one that is going to be the end game for this killer. Now, a highway patrolman, Sergeant Bryce McCabe, is trying to solve the case as well. Now, Anne is also a sort of forensic pathologist, so she knows crime and committing crimes. So the two work together, and you can feel the spark sort of brewing between the two of them. But the question is, will she stay alive for a relationship to ignite or just smolder and die away like the Fireflies are? So it is a very complex thriller in many ways, and one of Mary Burton's best books. So the ending really is a shocker. You think you know who the killer is, but no. Unless you have unless you call the psychic hotline and ask, I don't think you can guess this one because you never saw this one coming. And it is truly a shocker at the end. All the more reason to get the book, and you won't be able to put it down. So it'll be nonstop reading. So keep this book near you at all times, because Near You is definitely a book that you should add to your collection. So those are the two books that I wanted to bring to your attention this week: Girl Forgotten and Near You. So let me know if you agree with my choices here. I hope you do. And I hope you will keep watching my videos. Tell your friends, if they're book lovers, to watch my videos. And until we meet again, and we will, with more fiction, stay safe, stay sane, stay social distancing, and do stay in touch. Bye for now.